So we will call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The board will convene to close session tonight to consider employment, promotion, compensation, performance evaluation data of any employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction under Wisconsin statute 19.85(1)(c), under statute number 19.85(1)(e), for the purpose of reviewing and negotiating a contract related to grant writing for services and potential funding sources, where competitive reasons require a closed session. Okay, we have a guest that would like to speak tonight. If you want to just throw your chair up, and you can stand or you can pull the chair up and sit in front of us, whatever you would like. Introduce yourself because sure.
My name is Rebecca Nicholson. First of all, I am a parent. My daughter attends Sevastopol. She's a 5th grader. And the other hat I'm wearing tonight is for the Door County Partnership for Children and Families, where I am employed as a community connector, so I connect families with resources in Door County. And I'm looking for families that could use a little support so that we can help them be successful, so their children are successful in school. The partnership started in 2015 from a conversation in the community about how the children coming into 4K and kindergarten are not emotionally or socially prepared for school. And how can we work together as a community to change that? And so we came up with some subcommittees, and we have an executive committee, and then there's 2 on staff, myself and Candace Dart is our coordinator. And so I'm the one that connects the families with resources. If they're reluctant to get those resources because they're worried about judgment, stigma, or they just don't know where to go for the services that they need. I do have a lot of lived experience, so I've used a lot of the services in Door County, and I still currently use support from Department of Human Services. My daughter has a CST team. I don't know if you're familiar, but it's coordinated services. So school staff is on that team. We have a case manager through DHS. Boys and Girls Club is on the team, her psychiatrist, her counselor, so we're all speaking the same language, and it's kind of a wraparound service for her so that she can be successful in school. I'm just going to pass these around. You can take what you want, a business card or a wrap card for the partnership, and a brochure about Community Connections, which is a service I offer, so if you run into families that you think could use my support, you can reach out to me. You can refer through either my phone number, email. Also, we do have a website called DoorCountyParents.com, which I built before I became an employee with the partnership. Because back when National was in kindergarten, I wanted to give back to the community from the services and support I was receiving. And so I wanted to let other parents know that there are resources here in Door County to help them. So I built the website, and now that website is actually the partnership's website. I made this feel really fast because I know I only have 3 minutes. So if you have questions, you can ask away. Otherwise, that's all I have.
I don't, but I probably will after I review your material.
And feel free to email me or call me if you have any questions after tonight, after reading through the materials. Be happy to answer for you.
Does anybody else have questions for Rebecca at this time?
I'll just say that we've worked with Rebecca in the past, and it's a roadmap to services in Door County because they do change their services, like heating assistance, for example, moves under a different umbrella, and we don't always have that information readily available. Rebecca does, so it's really nice. It's a nice service.
What I really appreciate, Rebecca, in your role is the fact that you laid it out really quick, but I think the board would appreciate this, is that oftentimes there is stigma attached to becoming a part of a quote-unquote system. And hearing from a parent to parent, I can't thank you enough for that. I think that's a critical element in the success of what you're doing, so I appreciate that very much.
I started connecting families in November, and I've connected 26 families to resources now. And I have done some soft handoffs. In other words, the parent was reluctant or a little nervous. So I met with the provider of the service and the parent together, and that made them very comfortable then to go on and move on with service with them. So it's been really successful, and I really enjoy what I'm doing and being able to get back. So
Thank you.
thank you for having me.
Are there any items anyone would like to have removed from the consent agenda? If not, the consent agenda is approved by consent, including the donations of $1,000 from the Whitefish Bay Association for the Lunch Angel Program, a Gales On Memorial donation of $1,000 for the athletic program, and the Friends of Whitefish Dunes Incorporated donation of $160 for the 5th grade Trees for Tomorrow field trip. Okay, we'll move to administrator reports. Mr. Hills.
Thank you very much. Just to begin, overall statement, I guess. Things continue to go well. I am, each phase along the way, I'm kind of focusing on a different group. Over the summer, it was getting to know administrators and those kind of things. Now it's been a focus on getting to know the staff, and I continue to do that and continue to be impressed with the things that they do to step up and meet the needs of our students, especially at the elementary level. So just wanted to pass that along and give kudos to them for that. As the year is progressing, obviously now I'm starting to move into the phase of getting to know the students a little bit better, and they are starting to settle in a little bit, so I'm getting to know certain students a little bit better than others, but it's all good. The start of the school year, and there is a link on the document that I shared with you, if you didn't see that earlier, for a kickoff this year to do something different. We decided to do a video to the song Happy, and kids still walk in the halls and talking to them out at recess, they come up and they want to talk to me about my singing ability. And so very successful. It was very enjoyable to put together, and gave me a chance to see the staff ahead of time, which was nice, kind of their personalities. But the students really, really enjoyed that, so it was a nice way to start off the year. Lunch schedule has been tight, and I appreciate staff and their willingness to really kind of tighten that up on their end to make sure that they're where they need to be. And Casey and his staff are making sure that they get the kids through the line very efficiently. So, open house went well. I've been meeting with staff, having some individual meetings. We started this week, and getting to get a better feel for each of them as individuals and some of their needs. Something else that we introduced is something we're calling the Way to Go forms. And the way that works is staff gets these forms. If they see a student doing something above and beyond, they can write that student up. It comes to my office. On Thursdays, I call those students down. They get a chance to pull something out of the prize box. They get congratulations from me. Then we scan that in, send that home, and that way a parent has an opportunity to talk to their child about that. So it's been nice. We've had several of those already, and we'll continue to be encouraged to do that. Shirt orders, as I've been mentioning, the PTO sponsoring doing shirts for all of our students, and we've collected, I think, all of the information that we need, with the exception of maybe some middle school students. We got that out a week later. They're supposed to turn it in by the end of this week, and once we have all of the size information we need, then we'll put that order out there, and should get that back in a couple of weeks. So I would hope by the end of the month, maybe early October, we'll have those. Hopefully in time for homecoming, which would be nice. The Trees for Tomorrow trip is coming up. I know that students, staff are excited. I'd like to thank Mr. Lutke for going with the group this year, and I know it's an excellent experience.
About 12 years ago, I can't wait to go back.
So the only other thing, around the corner, some things coming up that I'll report next month. We're doing our MAP and PALS testing for all of our students. We're looking forward to homecoming and the parent-teacher conferences in the middle of October. And next week we have the fire department coming in and giving their presentations on fire safety.
Good. Thank you.
Sure. It's been an exciting 3 weeks. There's been a lot of firsts. There's been a lot of new situations that I'm learning, and it's been really, really encouraging. And I've learned a lot since the school year has begun. Overall, the special education and special population staff are full of energy, really excited, and it's just got such a positive atmosphere. So I'm happy to be a part of that team. Happy to say that round one of our reading drives assessment, procedural compliance self-assessment is done. So that's the audit that I keep talking about. So round one is done, and we have just started round two. Hopefully, round two goes well, and we are successfully done for the next 5 years. So we've just started that process. 504 update, so it's Section 504, active rehabilitation referrals. They really have started to increase at Sevastopol, and I just want to make people aware of it. The first 3 weeks of school, there's been 4 annual meetings, and there's 4 referrals that are coming up. So the word is out there that that these plans are available to students who need them. Part of what I've tried to do and will continue to do is to really educate the staff with the difference between what a 504 plan is and what an IEP is. So that's just ongoing. Staff have been really receptive when asked to, of course, participate in some of the, in the meetings. They are there, they are eager, they are listening to parents, and they are a part of the plan, which has been really nice to work with a variety of teachers. A variety of general ed teachers jumping in and doing what is needed for the students. We had a STRIDE meeting update, and that was last Friday that Mr. Litke and I went to, and things are moving along. We're hoping to get the counseling started. I think they said by the beginning of November now. It's just pushed back because it's just taking a while for the state to give clearance that the site at Sevastopol and certification that they can use that site for counseling services. But there's a whole bunch of people that are working real hard to get it together. So I'm really thankful for our coordinators, Mary Lou and of course Amy Higginbotham, really knowledgeable women, and we're lucky to have them for Sevastopol. We really are. Amy Higginbotham is going to be the counselor that's going to work with the students, and then it's Mary Lou Conrad, I'm saying her name wrong, but she really is the site facilitator from Fallon, and she is there to answer anything that we need. So since this is such a new process for Sevastopol, it's just nice to have such strong support from both sides. I had my first pupil services meeting on the 6th. Again, it's about the staff. It's full of energy. There's positivity. A lot of good information is being shared. I'm doing a lot of listening and a lot of observing, as I start. So it's been a really good process so far. The other thing I want to add is that we're really trying to increase the community supports that come into Sevastopol. So we've arranged the Department of Vocational Rehab to have a standing monthly meeting here at Sevastopol. So parents can come in and students can come in to make sure that they are aware of DVR services and how to initiate them if they are interested and when the time comes. Community programming, I want to start that now. I want to see who is interested on the staff and in the community to put forth their services for the community programs that happen in the late winter, early spring. So I've been reaching out to staff, and we do have some really eager people that want to start bringing some new ideas for our community. And an update on our Special Education Parent Advisory Committee. We met on September 11th. The group is eager to help organize a couple of booths that will be at the parent-teacher conferences. So we, in the past, have had a transition fair. We want to increase the amount of parents and students that could see some of the services. So we're going to have it in the lobby, but just 4 booths. And it's going to be information that's across the board from K to 12, and it's not just for special populations, it's for any parents who would like some community information. So we're going to do that as the parents walk in, then we'll just have those over to the side, so there'll be more traffic for some of the organizations. And then the last thing that I want to say is I just wanted to put forth a goal that I have for our pupil services. So on our webpage, by the middle of October, I'd like to have a page that's on our website, that's a link that goes right to pupil services. So it's a way for parents and community members to know some of the, what my goals here are and how to solicit services if they need them. So I'm currently working on that, and Mr. T is going to help me with that as well, which I appreciate. So overall, it's been a good 3 weeks, and thanks very much.
Thank you. Mr. Bear.
Thanks, Lisa. I appreciate it. it's so exciting to serve another school year. My 10th year with Sevastopol in this position was just so exciting to see our staff work with it. It's always enthusiastic. And, you know, I'm just thinking of this as we were talking, and it takes a lot to get a school year off the ground and be successful every single year. Take tonight as an example. Our soccer team traveled to the away game. Our swimming team is in another location. Our cross-country team is in another location. We've got volleyball in the gym. We've got elementary football up there. We've got elementary basketball in the gym. So all of these activities, and then the educational piece. You know, it's just so nice. And our staff jumps right in, and they're so welcoming. They bring our kids in and really make them part of the school. So I'm so thankful for those folks that I work with. I just wanted to comment, I shared our staff development goals for September 28th, which is coming up soon. I also shared a handout with you that wasn't available when I sent my report out on our mental health awareness activity, Maze Days, that is being sponsored by several of our businesses here locally. I'm really excited about this activity because it's a foundation of building the relationships between our students and our staff. And we really want to focus on activities such as team building and awareness and team challenges and working together and cooperation. So this is really an exciting activity. I put some information related to that on the back side of that, so please take some time to look at that. Our same or similar focus is happening in middle school. We have an escape room challenge planned for this Friday or tomorrow, so I'm really excited to be part of that as well. August in-service, just attached some pictures, as I said earlier, about our great staff and how well they work together. These pictures were taken over multiple days, so you can see their level of engagement and a variety of different things. One thing that I really enjoyed, the two middle pictures show us working on a breakout box activity. And I don't know if you've ever done that.
Tara explained that. That was
so
fun.
cool, yeah. I was on one of the teams, and one of the combination locks, basically there are 8 locks on a box, and they're all different. But one of the combinations was a directional lock. So they said in the words of the song, and they gave you a specific song, it says right, left, up, down, and that's how you got the combination. So that was one of the coolest. Along with you had to write a poem, and it was really a cool activity, and our staff just loved it. So we had a lot of fun. Of course, homecoming's coming up. A lot of exciting things planned for that. And I just did a look back, and I know I did this on my notes before, but I just went 5 years back and realized that in our high school we have 40 more students since 5 years ago. So really our numbers are growing, our class sizes are great, and we are a thriving, vibrant school district. So I'm really proud of everything we've done here this morning. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you. Mr. Yuki.
Coordinated between the Catholic Church, Steve Estes, and the Sturgeon Bay Fire Department, so we'll have the same bonfire for homecoming that as we had last year. It's not a school event, it's Steve Estes' project, so he'll get the permit issued to him, but we have the blessing of the church and the fire department, so it's all good to go. Monday, the ELL team, Mrs. Margraf and I met. We have 37 ELL students, which includes 2 brand new students that enrolled last week. In looking at the workload, we're going to see how the next couple weeks go, but in October, if things remain the same, there'll probably be a recommendation to add another 8 or a halftime 8 or some help in that department, because 2 people can't get to all 37 kids when they're 4K through 12th grade, and we have a few that are level 1 ELL speakers, so we've got to look at that, and so we're monitoring that. And similarly, on Friday, Ms. Margraf brought her list of the caseloads for the special ed, and we went over that, and we're going to review it again in 2 weeks, and in October we may have a recommendation for adding a halftime aid probably, if things remain the same. But we're going to see how the schedule runs for 2 weeks, see how we're doing. Last night I was in Madison for the WASDA Fall Conference, and members of the Blue Ribbon Commission for School Funding had a panel discussion. State Senator Luther Olson and State Representative Joel Kitchens participated on the panel. The commission isn't going to release their findings until after the election, and at that time they're not going to release a report. Instead, they're going to come up with a list of ideas and themes that they got from their 8 listening sessions across the state, plus then each member of the commission met with the legislators, and this is bipartisan. And they're going to then have this list, and when the legislators come back, hopefully they will use that to author some bills to change the state funding. The formula probably won't get tweaked too much. It's difficult when you have 422 school districts and we all have our unique scenarios, and so that's difficult to change that, but they're looking at different ways of changing parts of it. So I'm hopeful that some good changes will come out of it. And it was the same themes you always hear: safety, mental health, special ed, ELL, sparsity, rural versus urban. It's very interesting. Well, I think it's interesting. Name lots of people, but it depends where you're located. It really has a big difference on how you look at it. And that was what the commission gained by going to 8 different sites across the state. They heard from all the corners, and different pockets are different. So, and then on the flip side, presentation this morning by the AGI. Let's say it's Aspen Group International. They work with boards and superintendents on how they go work and get together, and they have a list of 10 things that we should always kind of keep in mind. And if there's anything you ever see that I need to improve on, when I looked at the list, I saw a couple that I need to work on a little bit. So sometimes, I'll tell you what I think it is. Sometimes I just do things without maybe, I think you guys already know the details, you maybe don't. And there's other times where something's important that you guys think that I don't think is this. So I gotta make sure my values are where yours are at. I can't assume you guys know what I'm talking about all the time. So if I'm ever not giving you enough information, let me know. But that was one takeaway I had this morning. So, and then State Superintendent Tony Evers addressed our group, which was really nice. So, yeah.
Did you expect to get the sparsity aid that we got?
Yeah.
That was quite a lot.
That was,
Yeah, that was-
I thought that was a lot of money.
Was it 212,000?
200 and some, you got a little more in Gibraltar.
Yeah, it's based on how many students you have and how many square miles you have.
But I know some years we haven't gotten it, so.
Right, but that's been an area of emphasis for the state budget, so.
Yeah, that came out of the last budget.
Last biennial, so
Yeah.
hopefully, and they talked about the 1921 budget as well. Next week, the different departments are required to hand in their requests to the governor for the budget, and then he processes it for a few months, and we may have a changeover in that time too, so, yeah.
Anything else?
Well, that's all I
Okay.
have.
I don't have a report, but the student council did send this. We are on a new lunch meeting schedule, so we have not met as a group prior to this school year to pick a representative. Their first meeting is tomorrow, but they do have these items on their agenda. Begin planning for the Jacksonport Thanksgiving Day Parade benefit. That's where they raised several $1,000s for, with Gibraltar, or things. Student access to microwaves continued from last year. Parking lot improvements continued from last year. Further discussion on weighted grades continued from last year. And then a couple years ago, Isaiah always talked about an electronic sign, announcement sign in the lobby, and they're going to write grants to 4 different groups this year. So try to get a nice one. That's their start. So that's it.
It's nice to see some of their goals are goals, right?
Yeah.
Like the back parking lot now has 400 feet of asphalt plus 2 speed bumps right now. That's
Well, you talked about the electronic sign too, at the.
electronic sign they
lunch-
wanted, yes,
Their
yeah,
lunch thing, right, something in lobby.
yeah. So they're on the same page on this, some items, that's good. Budget, there's not much at this point, unless Carly wants to speak up, but right now tomorrow's our 3rd Friday count for the students. That tells us what our enrollment will be, which gives us that 3-year rolling average. And then the property values will be established in October, and then state aid is October 15th. So those things will help us determine our mill rate. Go ahead,
The
Carl.
only thing I have is, we had our audit, that was the last week of August, showed up pretty much, called on Friday, said they'd be there on Tuesday, but as I get it done before school starts. So that went fairly well, being my first one on my own, got what they needed. They were there 2.5 days, same as they were last year, a few more things that I had to get them after they left, but overall, there was only 3 journal entries that had to be made, and 2 of them I knew about, and one was just, the third one was just a matter of coding or making note in our financials of all of the equipment that we purchased for the servers and the capital lease that we're doing with them. So it was, I mean, the ones that, the other two that were there were things that I miscoded. And I told them, I said, you're gonna find some stuff, please tell me what it is and we'll fix it. So, I do have one thing for you all. It is, when we talk about the program that we're in with Nicolay Bank and how all of our funds are insured, because with FDIC you only get $250,000. Well, as you can see, our balance that's highlighted is much more than that. If you look on page 2, that is all of the investments that Nicolay has that makes up the total amount of money at the bottom to collateralize and to insure all the money that all these organizations have in their accounts. And that is how we are insured, how our money is insured in case something happens. And at any given point with the pool, they automatically shift money back and forth, whether it needs to go in there to cover expenses or take money out to get it down to $250,000. They automatically do it. And by having that account, we are getting, I think the interest rate is 2.1 right now, that the interest that we are earning on those accounts. So I just thought I'd give you that to kind of give you an idea of how that all takes place. And they send me a report on this monthly at the end of each month to show us where we're at. So that's what that is.
Anything else budget-wise? Bleacher safety inspection report.
We have the report from the bleachers. We're talking the outdoor ones by the football field, track, the elementary gym, and the high school gym. All three of them are in bad shape.
And this is not new news.
No, it's not news, but we've got to start addressing them. I think we need to tackle one at a time. I think the Building and Grounds Committee should look at it and prioritize and move forward, because those areas are staying and each one needs it. The outdoor bleachers, they do not give a replacement price on them because they're wood bleachers, and when they give a comparison price, you wouldn't use wood again in today's world, so they don't give us a comparison price. I think one gym was
One was
$77,000, correct. Right. The elementary gym, the way the volleyball and the basketball is set up, those are portable and move, which is hard on your gym floor too. But they kind of have to have two volleyball courts going on at the same time. So that's what our facilities are. So, but all of them got red flags.
So when you and Rock want to schedule a meeting of the Building and Grounds, just let us know.
Yeah, I think we'll do that in October, yeah.
Okay, then, under old business, we have the second reading of some policies. Can I hear a motion for that first one, number 5517?
I'll move to approve the second reading of policy 5517, student anti-harassment.
Second.
Questions or discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Motion for 5540.
I'll make a motion to approve policy number 5540, the schools and governmental agencies.
I'll second that.
Questions or discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Policy number 5610.
Move to approve policy 5610, suspension and expulsion.
Second.
Questions or discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Policy 5830.
No, we got
5771.
Oh, I checked it off, 5771.
I make a motion to approve policy number 5771, search and seizure.
Second.
Questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Policy 5830.
I'll move to approve policy 5830, student fundraising.
Second.
Questions or discussion on that one? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Policy 6800.
I'll move to approve policy, which one are we on? 6800, system of accounting.
Second.
Questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Policy 7530.02.
I'll make a motion to approve policy number 7530.02, staff use of personal communication devices.
Second.
Questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I will just note for anyone listening that those are second readings. We looked at those at another meeting. Had whatever discussion we were going to have. So that's why we can move through these so quickly.
President Berry, on the last one, in the last meeting, we had amended policy changing language of board owned to district owned. Would that have been done before the second reading?
Yes, district owned.
So it has been changed to
Right.
district owned, so we'll do second reading only. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Then we will move to the 2018-19 stipend positions.
Last month, we received information about the stipends, and that was approved at the rates they were at. Since that time, I requested that staff members write down how many hours they worked on their stipend in a year's time. I have the ones that were completed here tonight. So the front and back side. Maybe somehow there.
Well, if you go all the way, I've got.
Sure, yeah, I got more. There's quite a range in hours and such. I think I recommend the board have a subcommittee look at this because when they handed them in, I got pages of documents. I wasn't going to print off that many, but I think it'd be wise for the board to have a subcommittee take a look at this a little more thoroughly. But I think this is good information for the board to see. Our staff does put a lot of hours into a lot of extra things around here. I don't think they get rich out of the stipends. I think they do it because they love the activity, they love being with the kids. But I do think we have to do something with the pay because these rates have stayed the same year after year after year. And now it's 2018 and we're paying $2010, $2012 for today's activities. So my recommendation is a subcommittee of the board to look at it and finish it out.
I'll sit on that committee. Is there anybody else that'd like to sit on that committee? We only have 3, so we don't have a quorum, but is anybody else interested in looking at that? Okay, then Cindy and I, if anybody else has an interest, let me know. And we'll consult with Mr. Ricky on how to get started on that. Did we approve these last month so they could get paid?
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's happening. That's occurring. But we've got to get it more in line.
Yep. Okay, then we will move to new business with a hassle of policies. And these are all first readings. So can I hear a motion for that first policy number 0151.2?
Move to approve policy 0151.2, required student academic standards for agenda item.
Second.
Okay, questions, comments?
State statute requirement.
Hearing nothing else, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Then policy 1460. 1461.
1461.
1461, I know some of these go together, and that's why I'm hesitating.
Don't two of those go
Yes,
together?
1461 and 3161 and
41.
4161. So it's 1461, 3161, and 4161.
Can you just separate those out, Lisa? Or can you just do
Different
motion
groups
to
of
approve
staff, and administrators, superintendent.
Administrator, support staff, certified staff, right?
So we can have one motion for the three of them.
So which
I
one?
make a motion to approve policy, first reading policy 1461, unrequested leave of absence, fitness for duty, 3161, fitness for duty, and 4161, fitness for duty.
Second.
Questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Then we have policies 1619, 3419, and 4419 are a group. So 1619, 3419, and 4419.
Is that yes?
Pardon me?
Isn't that what
What's
we
that?
have? 1619, group health plans.
Right,
Right,
3419, group health plans.
okay,
right,
right.
And 4419,
Yeah.
group health plans.
right.
Yeah, 'cause I know what-
Okay, so can I hear a so moved on approving the first reading of policies 1619, group health plans, 3419, group health plans, and 4419, group health plans?
Move to approve.
Second.
Questions or discussion on that?
And again, it's just different groups of employees.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Then we have policies 1619.02, 3419.02, and 4419.02. Can I hear a motion to approve?
I will move to approve those three policies as stated.
And those are privacy protections of fully insured, policy protections of fully insured group health plans.
I'll second that.
Questions or discussion on those? Hearing none then, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Then we have policy I gotta find it. 1619.03, patient protection ACA, 3419.03, patient protection ACA, and 4419.03, patient protection ACA. Can I hear a motion to approve that first reading of those policies?
Move to approve.
Second.
Questions or discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And I think that covers them all, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Lucy and Sue?
Yes.
Yes.
And again, for those listening, we will do these quickly because most of them are just required under statute, the policies. Okay, we will move to substitute teacher pay.
Yes.
Got in our board
Skipped
packet.
alternative open enrollment.
Open enrollment.
Oh,
It's okay.
too much. Open enrollment applications, Carol gave us those in our packet, so do we have room for those students coming in?
Student 1 through 4, we have room. 2 of them are special ed, but they are in middle school where we have room. 5 and 6, we do not have room because they are special ed. In high school, we do not have room in high school.
Okay, can we hear a motion first to approve the students, approve those students where we do have room open enrolling in those numbers that Carl recited?
Move to approve students 1, 2, 3, and 4 for open enrollment into Sevastopol.
Second.
Questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Then if we can hear a motion to place those other numbers on the waiting list.
I'll move to deny students 5 and 6 and place them on a waiting list.
Second.
Questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Then can we have a motion to approve the transfers out of Sevastopol? Students 1 through 14.
I'll make a motion to approve the transfer out of Sevastopol for students 1 through 14.
Is there a second?
Second.
And you said these students had never attended Sevastopol to begin with. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Now we go to substitute teacher pay.
3 documents showing the teacher pay. One was from CESA 7. It has quite a list of all of the ones. We really compete with Sturgeon Bay and Gibraltar for our substitutes. Gibraltar has a rate for dates 1 through 19, and that's in any position. When they're at 20 days or greater, they increase that rate. And if you're a long-term sub in the same position for 11 days or more in a row, there's a third rate they have. Currently, we're at $96 a day, and we lose some to Gibraltar, and substitutes are tough to come by these days.
So that $96 a day, that's for a certified teacher position? or-
Correct. Yeah.
Well, actually, it's,
It's also an aid because it's the hourly rate times 8 if you're here for a full day, so our aid would be the same.
because if we pay the aides what the aides make now, they're making more than a substitute teacher.
Right.
It's more now?
No, it's right now, but if we pay a substitute aide what our regular aides make per hour,
Right.
it's more than what a substitute teacher makes per hour.
So we need to raise our substitute teacher pay and not our substitute aide pay. Correct.
Correct.
And this number here that Gibraltar does with this 1 through 19, that's not, obviously that's not consecutive. So if you sub more throughout the year, there's a spiff for doing that.
They're rewarding you for showing up on that 20th day, not necessarily the same role.
Okay.
But yeah, exactly. So if you take any 20 assignments or more, correct.
We also have the consecutive days in the same, teaching the same class rule also. If you're in after 21st day, you get the hourly rate of what a brand new teacher would get, which is quite a bit more than what the regular rate is now.
And it's after that day,
It's at-
not retroactively then to the
No,
days.
it starts
the
at the
first 20.
21st
Okay.
day forward.
Okay.
Right. Whereas Gibraltar does it 11 days. We were at 20.
What's your recommendation?
$1 more? I
Well, yeah.
I guess I struggle with that. I'd like to keep up with Gibraltar at least. I'd like to keep up with the neighbors on this one because that's who we're competing with. So I'd like to see 120 per day for them. We don't have anyone east or west of us to, no one's gonna come from, you look at this long list from CESA 7, they're not coming from the other places. It's Gibraltar's our competitors. So I would like it, we're equal to Gibraltar, so the sub would pick us over them because they like our building atmosphere kids. Maybe not the building, but the atmosphere of the building. That's a better way to say it.
So that's based on an 8-hour workday?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's not bracket times.
Well, yeah.
And subs are hard to come by, but
Yeah, but we can't be competing against, and we need to make ourselves competitive, but when you're looking at all of the school districts, I'd like to see that there's uniformity between all five. I mean, I know that's not possible, but I certainly think we should be in a position to bring ourselves to.
In this world, we're competitors, so we'll move and then they'll move. And it's a competitive market. It's supply and demand. And right now, there's more demand than supply. So
Well, it looks like,
you could see 2 months from now Gibraltar upping theirs, right?
Right.
But at least we're keeping pace with them.
because we're less than Southern Door and Gibraltar. What's Sturgeon Bay at?
In Sturgeon Bay.
Well, Sturgeon Bay is right with us, yeah.
They're the same as us?
$1.
$1.95 they're at.
Over $1 less. They just
But
raised
this
it.
is what I got from them, so, yeah.
Would
That's
someone
okay.
like to make a motion on something?
I would like to be simple. Yeah, I already said, I like Lake
I would
Gibraltar.
like to make a motion to raise our certified teacher substitute pay to $120 a day.
Second that.
Any further discussion?
That would be leaving our substitute aid pay at 96.
And 96.
Yeah.
Right, 'cause the
And that-
motion's only about certified teachers.
Would the intent be that it would be 120 no matter how many days they sub?
If they would go up to the 21 days, it would be, still be an increase in what you're at 120.
Considerable.
Yes. So we could still keep that policy in place by going to the 120.
I think what Sue, what you're asking is if they serve more than 20 days in our
Right.
district, regardless of what area, would you up the
Right.
rate to like similar to what Gibraltar does, like
Right.
from 120 to 125? Is that what?
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's what I'm
asking, yeah.
interpreting. That's not what the motion was. The motion was 120 per day.
For how many days is my question.
I'm looking at it as just a flat 120 and not the day increment at this point. I mean, we're going to be going up $24 a day as it is with this new increase. We haven't done it that way before.
No, there's never been more than, when you reach this threshold, it went to a higher rate. No, we've never done that before.
So we don't have any of that now.
Unless you're a long-term in the same role for
And
20
then
days.
What would it be?
Then you're at the base pay of the
Okay.
lowest paid teacher.
Okay,
Right.
and that's going to be more than 120 a day.
Mhm.
Any other questions or clarifications you got on that?
Did anybody say?
I did.
You did, okay.
So Carl, could you repeat the motion then before we vote?
Okay, I have a motion by Mrs. Brower, a second by Mrs. Elmer Ehlers to approve an increase for certified student teacher pay to $120 per day for the 2018-19 school year.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Now, does that go from today forward, or do we go retroactive?
Today forward.
Today forward. Okay.
All right, that concludes our regular business for this evening. I hear a motion to adjourn and convene to executive session.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Sue moved. Cindy? Second. And we'll do a roll call vote. Jay?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Peter? Cindy? Karen?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned from open session at 7:49. Okay, we are back in open session at 8:34 p.m. And I will look for a motion to approve the FMLA request.
I make a motion to approve the FMLA request for Ryan Hilbert.
Second. Questions or discussion regarding that? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion is carried. Our next meeting, our next scheduled meeting is October 18th. That will be a regular meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried at 8:35 PM.
Wow, that's a